Okay, there we go. You have to keep it up there forever. All right. So why is there? What's going on? I don't know. There we go. Okay.
What happens with technical issues?
Having technical issues. I haven't done this in 2 weeks. Okay.
That's true. You got a week off.
Yeah, I
Chris,
had a week off.
Chris ran the show. I'm sure
That's
that worked out well.
He sent Nate the copy of it right away, right, Nate?
It's definitely in
Somewhere. Editing something.
I don't know where, but it's somewhere. I think.
Post production.
Chris is rebooting his internet.
Of course he is. Must be a message.
He's just gonna get on here and we're gonna be like, "What a wonderful world!" Still won.
Yeah.
Not this week.
I'm
feeling a new champion is emerging.
Louis Armstrong kicked Bingo Boy's ass.
There could be first on this show tonight. Apparently, there's a first.
I feel like we're close.
I feel like we're close.
We've been close for 2 weeks now.
Have you listened to the songs this week?
No, I didn't listen to
That's why you think we're still close.
I didn't listen to even the one I nominated.
Let me see what you nominated here.
Murder at the Bingo Hall.
That's the best one.
Bingo. I thought he was punking me, Denman. I'm just saying. I got to move this back a little. I am not in the frame for some reason tonight. I'm usually in.
Well, maybe you should just scooch in there.
I'm in. I feel like I don't want to get like weird.
Good. I'm in the middle, which is what matters. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of whatever it is we're doing here.
I'm glad Chris wanted to get on at 8 o'clock so we can get this going. Fucking guy.
I know. There's 4 out of 5 of us. We have a quorum.
Yeah, we do.
That's right.
We don't want him to miss an ounce of our fascinating conversation. Right?
No. He'll be on any second now. He'll be on. There he is. No. Nice try. You're close. I was close.
Hey, good job muting the TV, whoever did that.
That was me. You're welcome.
I just thought we should have mute the TV. Make sure the fan's off.
Chris,
I considered throwing something at the television.
Said Denman, since, hey, might as well talk about killing me. How's the album review going?
It's going awesome.
Cool. Cool.
It'll be all ready, and it's fun.
Nice.
I'm glad I get to do it.
I'm glad you can do it. I'm glad you were wanting to do that.
How many Killing Me songs will be on the new album? This is Rod Wilkins, bass player for Killing Me.
This probably won't get published till about 3 months after the album is out.
So the way we're going.
At the rate we're going.
So how many songs you got there?
Oh, this album has 9.
Ooh,
9 songs. We're giving you a full. Most bands give you 6, 5, 6, 7. We went 9. Yep.
You spoil me.
Next album won't be as many.
should it only be 6 or 7 though?
Most bands nowadays put out an album, and it's usually 6 or 7 songs. Usually.
No, I'm saying there's your stuff. Maybe there's 2 that are just filler.
Most of them are filler, but
Denman, would you agree? Most of them are filler.
Denman knows. He's heard them. I mean,
You should have been called the name Filler Me.
That's true. Filler me. Filler me. That sounds a little shady. Hold on, kids.
Can't have that. That's right.
So how was your food at Red Robin, Denman, when you ate?
I liked it. I like those fish and chips. They're good.
Fish and chips.
Yeah.
My burger was pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
I love the pretzels, and I love the onion rings there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the onion rings are really good.
They are nice and crunchy, and it's like
Is
crunchy and
that
not burnt. And then you still have onion inside. It's like it's magic.
Creamy honey barbecue sauce is just excellent for whatever reason.
That is some good stuff. My beer was pretty good too. Whatever I drank.
You had a Guinness?
Guinness. I had a Guinness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. How was your beer?
I liked it.
What'd you get? Then what was the other drink you got?
It was a gold fashioned. It was like an old fashioned, but they use a higher end, I think, one of the liquors.
Oh,
was higher end. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Has anybody thought to contact Chris?
Chris, he sent a message.
Yeah,
He's rebooting his.
He's rebooting his internet.
Are we being punked?
I think Chris is punking us.
Denman found it. He found it.
We have a couple other ones.
There's a couple other ones there if you want to hit them.
You're wrong. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you... Can't believe you guys didn't like Oat de Boki Beaver.
I loved it. It was so good, I couldn't take it.
It's funny that that's the song that we turned into like an audio bite, the one that we drove straight into the ground.
So I would like to say maybe it's time to reconsider it this week.
Do you think there's a song, if we ever had a song out that was like, man, we should relook at that song?
Time in a Bottle by Jim Croce.
Let's just say we all probably have one that we're going to. No, I think everyone was pretty clear on that one.
You guys fed that to the wolves. You were like Diary of a Madman.
That was a rough week. That was a good
That was
week.
Purple Rain, Diary of a Madman, Time in a Bottle, Janitor, and Children of the Sun.
Janitor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That'd be mine. We need a janitor needs another
I think
book.
that whole week should be relooked at. That's an amazing week.
That's
I think one of those songs need to be thrown in. Like, that was way too many great songs in 1 week. We f***ed ourselves on that week.
I think last week was a great week, too. And despite the fact that the Trooper ran away with it,
Yeah,
I think like
a good week.
3 of the other 4 songs were absolutely fantastic.
Really good.
What's the one that wasn't fantastic?
I don't know what you mean.
I think they were all spectacular.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean.
I got notes tonight.
Oh, yeah, I got notes over here, too. And by that, I mean I have the official stuff, and then the notes are in my head.
Yeah, why doesn't he use his hotspot?
Drive his sheets or something, for fuck's sakes.
Go back to Red Robin.
Go back to Red Robin.
He's the one with the important call later. We're
Yeah.
allowed to talk about why he's late or
No.
not? Probably not, huh?
I don't know.
Let's not, just to be safe.
Illegal. As soon as he gets here, though, we're diving headfirst into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No waiting around.
Can you give us an ETA?
You better send him a message.
Yeah, I better send him a message. Ladies and gentlemen, we're missing Chris. And I'm going to send him a message.
Is it really a show without Chris, really? It's really
It's
not.
not really.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Any of us boneheads can be not here.
There's not enough biblical debate without Chris.
That's right. That's right. We should talk about the Bible some more, the New and the Old.
The New and the Old Testament?
I was telling them my favorites is the John, the Paul, the Luke, and the Ringo are my favorite books in the Bible. And then Yoko, that's later. That's when everything blew up. That was like when the dinosaurs.
All went to hell. Yeah.
Yoko was, when they crucify Jesus and then God brings like the giant earthquake and everybody, is like, oh, he really was the son of God. That was Yoko.
That's Yoko.
Yoko was the earthquake.
Sorry if you're listening, Yoko. We love you.
Is she still alive?
Unfortunately. Yes, yes. Yes, thank God.
You can't say that.
We need her.
Why?
Because she broke up the Beatles.
She broke up the Beatles. She's a hero. I fucking voted for her, wrote her in the last 2 presidencies. For fuck's sakes. Because who else am I going to vote for? I'm like, Yoko Ono. She can break up the Beatles. She can fix this fucking shithole. Yoko, voting for you. I'm getting a shirt now.
Yoko 2024.
Yoko 2020. Yoko forever. Every year, and she's going to change it. She can be voted in as long as we keep her in office, because she should be there.
Hey!
It's not successful yet. It's locked in. Let's say
Yoko Ono for president. That's all you missed.
you missed a lot.
You missed a lot.
A lot of dumb shit. Some real good stuff, content.
Yeah, some good content.
I still don't think he's there.
No,
Just his little things there.
I heard him glitch. Like I heard.
That didn't sound good. It's his little things there.
His little things there.
Can't publish this.
You can't put that on.
Talking about Chris's little things.
I don't know, we don't fix anything in post.
Well, yeah, because post is 3 episodes that are just uploaded.
Well, at least when you go on Christmas break, you won't lose a week because we're so far behind.
That's true.
So, for the next year.
Yeah, we're so far behind in uploading these.
Yeah.
Well, what about our fans, guys? Come on.
We're about a
Do we
month
have
and a half
fans?
behind
You're
schedule.
right. I don't know, 'cause there's no episodes up to watch. We might. We could.
Okay.
There he is.
There he
There
is.
it's working.
Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for coming along there.
Technology's great
Thank
until
you.
it doesn't
Love
work.
technology. All right. No, we'll get copyright struck by
No,
whatever.
I'll show its ass then.
Chris has an important business meeting. We can't.
That's right. We got to get to the show.
No time for dicking around, okay? So,
Yeah, get your
come
paperwork.
on, dude.
Go.
We
He's
got
ready.
10
We're ready.
minutes
We'll
before
see
Chris
it.
goes
Let's
on.
go, let's
We'll see how important.
All right. So the songs that were nominated this week. I nominated Weddings and Wars by Will Varley. Additionally, The Waitress from Red Robin nominated Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss. I am going to bounce it over to Rod, since he's the least prepared.
I nominated. What I nominate? Look What We Become by the Drowns. I'll throw it to Rich.
I nominated Murder at the Bingo Hall by Amigo the Devil, Denman.
I nominated Rock and Roll Machine by Triumph. Chris.
I nominated Heart of God by Zach Williams.
All right. Might
Yeah.
I ask to go first this week? Because
You may.
I have.
No.
Okay.
You went
You're not
first
allowed,
last
but you
week.
can ask.
No, let the young punk go. That's fine.
Okay. So I'm gonna start from the bottom up as I normally do. The last song to me, nothing against religion, but it has to be "Heart of God" by Zach Williams. I'm a huge fan of punk music, so I'm a fan of like messages of autonomy and independent thinking, and it kind of feels like this song is telling me just follow God and he'll figure everything out for you, and I'm not really a fan of that thought process just in general. So the song didn't really end up speaking to me in the way that I thought it might, so it's gonna have to be last.
Dear Lord, baby Jesus.
Yeah, no, that's what I was getting ready to say. There's one for the below.
Yeah.
Amazing Grace bit it. Well, so knows the Heart of God. See where this group goes. Okay.
Next to last is going to be Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss. I've never been a huge fan of Kiss musically, but that first note where it's open, coincidentally, is the same start to the song as Eat the Rich by Motorhead. So I was very excited every time I heard it because I was like, oh my god, it's Motorhead. And then it was Gene Simmons vocally, and I was sad. I've never been a huge fan of Kiss.
I can see that.
It's got to be in this. It's got to be, what is that? Fourth for me. Yeah.
Yeah, there's five.
Fifth. There's six this week.
Heart of God.
Oh, that's right, because
I can't vote for Weddings and Wars despite it clearly being
You're
the best
right, you're
song.
right, you're right.
So that's gonna be fourth for me. My third is gonna be "Look What We've Become" by the Drowns, because
Yours just finished in third.
Yeah.
Dear
It's-
Lord, baby Jesus.
it's just like it's about 10 BPM, a little too slow for me. Like it's not bad. I enjoy it, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little bit slow for me.
He likes, not only does he knows exactly how much too slow.
About
it
like
is.
10 about like 10
BPMs.
beats per
I
minute too
think
slow.
10 more is a little fast for that song. But
I
go
don't know.
ahead.
But there are like the whole like, is this part of your American dream? Like that section is fantastic, and I enjoy that. Number 2, and a surprise that should surprise everyone, is "Rock and Roll Machine" by Triumph. That it found its way this high on my list, and I'll tell you why. I don't know if any of you noticed. The solo is Eruption. The solo is Eruption by Eddie Van Halen before Eruption was written.
Could be. You could be right there. Yeah.
Like just listen.
I never
to it.
thought about
It
that.
sounds exactly like Eruption, and that was my first thought.
Yeah.
But my issue with a lot of 7-minute long songs is they feel they feel monotonous, because it's like I've heard this before and I want something to change. The fact it was just this pure guitar solo with nothing else underneath it for just like 2.5 minutes was enough of a change that I enjoyed it, and the rest of the song itself was fun. So I got to go with "Rock and Roll Machine" at number 2, and of course number 1 is "Murder at the Bingo Hall."
It was a quiet night down at the gaming.
Stop.
We're on
But-
time limit. So
Yeah, we're on time limit.
We're good.
But Rod has been talking just in general conversations lately about like the energy of a song, right? Like when we went to see the Descendants, he was like, "There's this just energy in the room," and Murder at the Bingo Hall really just captivates energy. It feels like it's building and then dissipating and building and dissipating. It's chaotic and you don't know what's going to come next, but you know that whatever it is going to be interesting, it's going to be fun, and it's going to keep you engaged for the entire time you're listening to it. So I got to go Murder at the Bingo Hall number 1, and I'm going to pass it over to Chris.
Just like to say, it's nice to get a win once in a while.
Well, no, it ain't over yet. It ain't over yet.
I'll take that as a win based on what's happened in the past 3 weeks.
Well, okay, so I think for me, I like punk, but I am unfortunately I don't think I'm the same as you guys as far as like the style of punk that you guys like and enjoy. So the Drowns has to be my number 5.
Ooh.
Okay.
Where's the thing?
Oh,
Where's my thing?
Denman.
Oh, yeah. Where's my sound effect, Denman? You're wrong. Do it again. Do it again. You're wrong.
Okay, so after that would probably follow Murder at the Bingo Hall. Would follow that. And then Weddings and Wars would be next for me. And Triumph Song would be number 2.
ooh.
And I have to go with Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss as the number 1 for this week for me.
Now,
That's just
that cute little waitress isn't here.
That's
You
a
don't have
great
to do
song. Huh?
That cute little waitress isn't here. You don't have to do that.
It has nothing to do with the waitress, but as I was listening to the songs this week, it just reminded me, like Nate says, he's never been a Kiss fan, and I get that. It's not, there's, and this is going to be my answer in a speed round that I have type situation, but Kiss is one of those bands that you either like them or you hate them, and also you're either going to like them or you hate them depending on the era that you're listening to them in. Okay, 70s era, Kiss is just one of my all-time favorites. Like the first 3 Kiss albums I was given: Rock and Roll All Night, Love Gun, and Detroit Rock City. Those were the 3. That was my introduction to Kiss, and those 3 albums I could play. Just flip them up. Start with side A on one of them, side B, go to side A on the next one, side B, go to side A, and easily, I can listen to those 3 albums over and over again. So that's the case. I mean, I didn't hate the songs that you guys. I didn't hate them. That's not my thing. I actually enjoyed them. But if I'm putting them in lines with songs that I like,
Yeah.
and how I like them, that's the way I had to go, as far as that's concerned. And as far as my that song, my song, Heart of God, I think you misunderstood it, Nate, as to what the message is. It's not that you have to follow God. It's just there's no judgment in God. So however you feel is okay. You understand?
Yeah, no,
That's how I look at that song. Everyone has their problems. Everyone has their issues. And I think it's basically saying, for me, like my review on religion, you don't have to believe in God per se to be a good person. Okay? My thought is, if you're an atheist, right? And if there is a God, there's a God, whatever. Not going to say, that's a debate for a different different times.
Wait, run, taking notes so I can only.
Okay, but my personal opinion, if you live a good life,
Yeah.
but you don't need a figurehead, a god, to keep you in line. If you die and you go to the pearly gates and you stand in front of St. Peter and you lived a good life, I think you get in.
I
Okay,
think they
that's
throw
just
your
my,
ass right out of there.
that's just my opinion. I don't think you. I think there are people with different religions. They need certain rules and regulations to stage on the straight and narrow. Like if you don't do this, if you don't say, Jesus Christ is my savior, you're going to hell. I don't necessarily buy into that. I think if you lead a good life, don't murder people,
That's a good start.
that kind of thing.
What about this
I
bingo?
think you're going to be. I think you're going to be okay, huh?
What is it?
Well, that murder. That's like movies. It's make believe.
Well,
So I mean, it's different.
Yeah.
my
So
songs
I'm not
make
gonna.
believe. There you go. So,
But yeah, I just love the tune. I love that guy's voice. I really enjoy. I stumbled upon that song. I hit my Zoom on my car, my Zoom button, and it landed on a Christian station, right?
Oh.
And that song was playing, so that's how I discovered that particular song, which is
Holy
kind of crazy.
mackerel.
holy
So-
mackerel.
Holy, see?
Holy.
Type that all in. You're welcome.
But yeah, so it's okay, Nate. I would revisit the lyrics and don't look at them as preaching, but look at it more as acceptance.
Oh, I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's all.
Like we
But I
accept
get
Chris
this.
for like how he is.
It's like I was just like waiting for like everyone to say he threw a Christian song in this. I was like, come on, especially me, of all people,
Are we being punked?
we being punked? That was a good one.
Well done, Denman. We put the soundboard in the right hands, 100%.
We made some
Yes, we
custom
did.
sound effects this week.
So
I knew you
I'm
guys
going to
would get
throw it over
mine
to Denman.
quick.
Awesome. I know what song or what station your car landed on. It's called K-Love.
Is that what it is? You got
Yeah,
it.
98.3.
Yeah, Caleb.
Now, I don't like K-Love only because a lot of those Christian artists, they're very commercialized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the Christian music I like, if you really want to hear some good Christian music, like good stuff, I can introduce you to a lot of that. In fact, Demon Hunter is actually a Christian band. But they don't, not a lot of their songs are
Makes sense.
That's true.
overly preachy and all that, things like that. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, of K-Love. And I'm not a big fan of Zach Williams. So he has to be my number 5.
All right.
Now, the funny thing is I do, and I think, Rod, you know this, and Chris,
I know how you feel, Rich.
I do I do play on my church's worship team. But we don't so we don't do everything like it sounds on the radio, but we don't do that song. It's like a cover band for church, right? But I play electric guitar most of the time. I can play whatever they need. Usually I'm on lead guitar, and I use some overdrive and some delay, things like that. But I sometimes play acoustic, and this Sunday
You have the wrist chord thing? You have the wrist chord thing?
What's
So you
that
should know
wrist
what the chords are. The statue, the wrist chord thing that shows all the chords on your wrist.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need that. I'm playing bass this Sunday, actually. So we rock it up a little bit, right? We do it a little bit, So that's my thing on commercialized Christian music, right? So that's my number 4. I really enjoyed the 3 other songs. I really did. So this, unfortunately, you have to rank them, right?
Right.
So I had to put Weddings and Wars number 4. but I really like that song. I did. Number 3 was Look What We've Become. I think that was really good. And Murder at the Bingo Hall was number 2. But I can't not put Kiss at number 1.
Wow.
Rock.
Wow.
Yeah.
Robin the waitress rocked. She nailed it.
Nailed it. Red Robin, that's her name.
That's her
gonna
name, Red Robin.
I don't know her name, but Red Robin's her name now.
We wrote it down, or we took a picture or something.
Somebody did write it down.
I don't
Chris
know.
did.
Wasn't me.
Yeah. So that's my rankings. And then I guess we'll
No,
go over
it's on the video.
Oh, it's on the
Put it
video.
up on the video.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you send the video yet? Did you get the video yet? No.
This is. Yeah.
I haven't sent it yet.
Oh, okay.
All right. This is post production stuff. We'll talk about this.
This has been one hell of a week. Trust me.
I get it.
What time is it?
Let me throw it over to Rich. Let me
All
save
right.
Rod. We'll save Rod for last.
Oh, great. We're good. We got like a half an hour.
Yeah, it's a half hour. Yeah.
All right.
We'll fill that up.
Quickly going through it. The bottom one would be Heart of God. What you're saying about Christian music, it sounded like that to me. That kind of
Commercial.
that kind of commercialized standard sound.
Yes.
It's a good song, but it's just, for me, it was just a good song. Next, trying to think, would probably be, oh yeah, thank you. Would probably be, I feel like I'm missing one in my head.
It's rock and roll.
I should have
Look
5,
what
right?
we've become.
Everything from down here.
Weddings and
I
War.
can't see this. I don't have my glasses
Rock
on.
and roll machine.
Shut up.
You should have had this beforehand. Should be riffing.
Next is Rock and Roll All Night. It's up here, everybody.
Okay.
Like a Steel Trap is the Kiss song, whatever the Kiss song was.
There's rock and roll all night and then rock and roll machine. So
Right,
all
Rock
night
and
is
Roll All
Kiss.
Night,
It's
Kiss
Kiss,
is
okay.
4th.
Okay.
This should leave me with,
The Drowns, Will Varley, and Triumph.
okay, perfect. That's good. All right. So third,
Come on, Grandpa. That leads you to the finish line. Come on, Grandpa. The finish line's right up there.
well done.
That's why he's one of the 4 old.
That's why I'm one of the old ones. Number 3 would be the Drown song, which I really liked it. I know, but I know, rough week for the Drowns.
Wow.
But I felt like it was 7 BPMs too slow.
So 8.5.
8.5.
About
8.5.
7 and 10. We'll say 8.5, 8 3/4 and a fifth of an eighth.
So that brings me to the last two, which I want to talk briefly about Rock and Roll Machine by Triumph. Because when I first realized that there was a 75-minute solo in the middle of it, I thought, well, this is crazy and it's a little self-indulgent for a guy to put a solo in the middle of his song. But then I kind of started thinking about it a little bit more. And I thought, well, that's who Triumph is or was, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
so it makes sense. Like, I don't get mad at jazz artists for riffing on a song, right? You don't get mad at Charlie Parker for playing the saxophone for a long solo in the middle of a song. And then I like the idea that at one point they were just like, nope, this is a guitar solo, and that's what it is, and it's in the song as a guitar solo. And so I just wanted to that happened over the course of the week listening to the song. Like, I initially was like, oh my God, it really is a giant guitar solo in the middle of the song. Weddings and Wars is a great song that I have a really personal connection to, which because we don't have time, I'm not going to get into it. So it became kind of tough, but I think number 2 is going to be Weddings and Wars, and number 1 is Rock and Roll Machine by Triumph, because I think it's a band being who they are and writing a song that was about who they are as an artist, and I really appreciated that. So that's the best of the 5. Rock and Roll Machine by Triumph.
Wow. All right then. Whew. Well, you're all fucking wrong this week, but wow.
You're wrong.
Maybe I guess I was wrong for nominating my song. I am wrong. I'll just scratch that bitch right off there. Don't need a reminder. Don't need a reminder of that.
You might be the guy to put me in Rich Wilkins territory with a with
I
a
might
clean
be.
sweep with number 5s with the last place.
Song and Ote Boki Beaver are in the same category.
We should have learned from Amazing Grace what kind of crowd this was, Chris. We should have learned.
yes, you're right.
There's the baby
You're right.
Jesus stuff ain't gonna work in this room, man. It's just.
Nope.
All right, so let me start by at the bottom. All right, Chris, you're a winner. I'm just gonna say. Now, I enjoyed the song. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like the sound of it. I don't know if this makes sense, but maybe somewhere in the 80s, like Foreigner. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Kind of that like Foreigner-ish, whatever that stuff was going in the 80s with them. But I liked all these songs before I say this, that for different reasons. Yeah, but I really did like that song. But so that one's down there. The next one I'm going to say is, let's go with Rock and Roll Machine, Triumph.
Oh.
Wow.
And
you just submarined it.
And for what year was that? Probably late 70s?
76.
77. Yeah, 77, I think.
Oh, 77.
Okay, so that's what I kind of did when you're sitting there talking about it. I kind of did the same thing. I'm like, I don't know, this seems ridiculous, this goofy solo in here. But I was like, no, actually, it's perfect. Because the time that this was, the band that this is, I'm like, it made sense. Like, this is what was going on. Like, guitar crazy. It's what it was. Guitar rock. So I'm gonna mark that one there. Next, this one would get the nomination for Best Video. But Will Varley's, the video is the greatest. For an 80s kid, the video was just tremendous. So we're going to drop that in there. So I got 2 and 1. 2, I'm going to go with Bingo. I'm doing Bingo. Right. I'm going with Bingo.
This is going to be rough.
And Rock and Roll All Night is one of the greatest songs of all time. It just is.
Oh, my God.
It is.
And as a young guy, like listen, the young drummer, when you hear that, like you want to play it, right? You just play the wrong thing. And then it's got a cool ass bass line. You got both singers singing it. Sounds great. Then
Gene Simmons' bass playing is highly underrated.
It's a really cool bass line. You got a great guitar solo that fits that song great. Ace just kills that guitar solo. And then it has how many times has this been done, especially if you heard this song, where everything stops and we get a sing-along part. It's the chorus. It's one chord. It's rock and roll. No, that's 3 chords.
He played it. It didn't sing.
And then it does the F and G thing. You keep on fine.
Look for all the naysayers, the 2 naysayers of Rock and Roll All Night. There's a reason that on Friday, that Electric Lunch every week starts out with Rock and Roll All Night, Party Every Day. It's every Friday for the Electric Lunch. That leads off. It is a seminal.
Hold on, motherfuckers, right now. See, that's the same logic everybody used to knock out YMCA. That's the same logic that we talked about.
Rock and Roll All Night. No. See, this is where you're wrong. Rock and Roll All Night plays on a rock and roll station. Okay. Not at fucking weddings. You're not closing out the night with people dancing on the dance floor going YMCA. Nope, sorry.
You're not closing out the night with people dancing to Kiss because it's not that good.
All right.
Let's hear let's hear the results.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. So
you're wrong.
Resounding 5th or 6th, I guess. Here is "Heart of God" by Zach Williams with all.
You're all going to hell.
Yeah.
Well,
it's 4/5 with all.
Forgive him.
Votes.
In the name of the Son, the Father, and the Holy Ghost, I absolve you all.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So then, after that is probably the Drowns. Look what we've become with 3 third-place votes. Just barely ahead of that is Will Varley's "Weddings and Wars" with 2/3 and a second. Actually tied for second here, both with 2 seconds and a first each, are Rock and Roll Machine by Triumph and Murder at the Bingo Hall by Amigo the Devil. So good showing from you, finally.
Yeah,
Tied for second.
finally.
And then
Just thinking, Kiss wasn't in this competition.
And then
If we hadn't talked to the waitress.
That got the waitress, yeah.
the first special guest nomination to win a week.
We made history. All right,
The
ready to
girl
go.
from Red Robin, not Greg Graffin, not Chris number 2 from
Yeah.
Anti-Flag,
Those guys
the
know nothing about
waitress
music,
from
apparently.
Red Robin wins this week with Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss.
She understands what we're doing.
She
Yeah.
looked at
Yes,
us and
she
picked
does.
the song.
She played
She
the
got it
Kiss
right
crowd
away.
right there. So now we have to decide whether or not it's better than What a Wonderful World. But while I let
Ooh.
everybody think about that and recognize that the answer is blatantly obvious, I have a speed round that I would like to go through.
Okay.
Does anybody else have a speed round?
I do.
Okay.
Cool.
So just me and Chris?
And Chris, I think.
So then I'll go now, and then Chris will go in between the decision and the nominations for next week.
Okay.
So my speed round is going to take a bit of thought. It's a very complex one. We probably could spend a whole episode on it if we wanted to, but
Sure, let's.
not the greatest. But what is your personal favorite solo, like guitar solo of all time?
Oh, shit.
Wow.
God.
You know,
There's
I love
there's
you.
only
I'm kidding. It's a great solo. Fits the song.
Can it be just a guitar piece?
Well, then that's that.
That wouldn't be a solo.
That's more like
Okay.
I'm thinking like a
Your
lot.
favorite guitar solo?
there's only one.
Ooh.
There's only one.
What's
The
that?
greatest of all time. It was like Randy Rhoads, freaking Crazy Train.
Mm.
Great solo.
Yeah,
It's
totally
only-
great solo.
There's name a
Great solo.
solo that tops that. You're digging the bottom of the barrel, pretty much.
I'll tell you, probably one of my favorite guitar solos is, obviously, it's Goodbye to Romance, which is Randy
Yeah,
Rhoads.
Goodbye
obviously.
Romance. Yeah.
I love that guitar solo.
Yep.
Rich,
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Denman.
Well,
That's a Triumph song.
Hey, Rick Evans no slouch on the
I know.
solos. Let's give him a doubt.
You could say Rock and Roll Machine.
that's a great solo, but it's not like up there as one of my favorites.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to go against Randy. Goodbye to Romance is amazing. Yeah, I mean, well, Over the Mountain's pretty damn good too.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, yeah.
I mean,
You name a solo by him, and it's pretty damn good. Like, well, I don't know which song it is, but on Diary of a Madman, there's a solo on one of the songs, and I can't remember which one it is. I've been trying to find out, but it was a stock solo. It was a solo he put on there temporarily that he was going to go back and re-record, and it's a killer solo. It rocks. He just didn't have a chance to go back and redo it before they went back out on tour after recording it. But he was, I can't remember. I don't know if it was SATO or Little Dolls. It's one of those. It's one of those. But both of those albums, I don't think there's a solo on there that's bad.
no.
So what,
Not one bad one.
Yeah.
what do you guys
I'm
think?
gonna have to. I don't know. I can't. I'd say a Randy Rhoads one then.
Just
jump
right in.
Randy Rhoads is some kind of.
I thought you'd go Eddie Van Halen. I know you're Eddie Van Halen fan.
I'm not a huge fan of Eddie Van Halen. I like
I
Van
know.
Halen the band.
Yeah.
I like the David Lee Roth years of Van Halen. But
Yeah.
I figured Randy Rhoads would come up. I didn't think he'd completely overtake the room though.
Yeah.
You haven't been paying close attention.
No,
There's some great solos over the years, like the solo for "In My Dreams" is
Yeah.
one of the best solos
That's a great
I've
song.
ever heard.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But he's got a few of those. The solo for "Sister Christian" outstanding. You know, I mean, Brad Gillis is another one of those ones that's like is just magical. You know, for his genre, like, you know, what the songs that he plays, they fit well. You know, Zach Wild, "Mama, I'm Coming Home." I mean, that's a simple, badass freaking solo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can go, but if you're going to talk about consistent solos, like you could be like they all have bad solos. You know, Brad Gillis has bad solos on albums. So does freaking Zach Wild. You know, you name them. They've there's some solos on it. I don't know. That doesn't. You know, at least none of them do the Vinnie Vincent Invasion where they do a power chord in the middle of the solo. You know, but you know, I mean, Ace Frehley had both bad solos, but I cannot think of one Randy Rhoads solo on either one of those albums. And even when you listen to the live stuff, the stuff that he changes just makes it better.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, the guy was magic. He was, just plain and simple.
So who do you think, Nate? So this is...
Okay, well,
Sorry.
I didn't have a Randy Rhoads solo, but I have one that I think might surprise you guys because I'm not necessarily a metalhead. I have to go with "Tornado of Souls" by Megadeth.
Oh, Marty Friedman.
Yeah.
Marty Friedman's badass
and
guitar.
Young Frankenstein, Marty Friedman.
Buggy eyes.
With the buggy eyes.
No, not the wrong one.
We being pumped.
His name's Marty, but it's not Friedman. Marty, what is that guy's name? Marty what?
Feldman. I don't know.
No, Marty Feldman.
Yes.
Got from the movie. That's
No,
right.
actually, I think that might be it.
That's what I'm thinking. Marty Feldman's crazy eyes. Denman's probably looking this up right now.
I'm looking it
Our
up.
crack
Our
research
crack
team.
research team is on it.
Yeah, I don't even know that song, nor did I do the solo.
It's a fantastic solo. For me, it's either between that.
It is.
Or,
It is a very good one, and I like the solos that I can't think of the guitars, but on "So Far So Good So What," there's some really good solos. I can't remember. His last name is Young. He was only on it with them for that one.
Oh, Young, AC/DC. Yeah, AC/DC. There we go. Bam. Angus the Young.
All right, we better get the next.
All right, yeah,
speed round.
we should probably get the decision up.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
Marty Feldman.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
So that
It is Feldman, yeah. Friedman.
Friedman.
You're talking Friedman. Yeah.
No, Marty Feldman's the actor that he's talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Young Frankenstein. He's the greatest
Yeah.
guitar soloist of all
So
time.
I get to go first, right? Because I was bottom, right,
What?
for next week.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh yeah. For nominations for next week, you'll go first.
But first we have to figure out
First-
the winner.
Yeah, we got to decide whether or not it's rock and roll.
I
All
just
night.
wanted to make sure that was clear.
Rock and Roll All Night or What a Wonderful World. Since the challenger isn't here, which I didn't think about as a logistical thing before we started, we'll have the champion go first and we'll just bounce it around from there.
I'm sticking with Louis. Rich.
I would go with Louis as well. So 2 for What a Wonderful World.
I was going to Nate then. We're just going around the room, right?
All right. I'm going to go with What a Wonderful World as well.
All right.
I'm going to go Kiss. Oh, sorry, Chris. You go.
No, go ahead.
Kiss. Give me Kiss.
I'll do Kiss as well.
Ooh.
So another 3-2.
So another 3-2. Despite the nail being put in the coffin kind of early,
Yeah.
it still ended up close.
I'm shocked. Kiss was that strong at the end.
Yeah.
I'm a little shocked by that.
I'm nervous for Louis Armstrong.
So am I.
He hasn't been.
You know my feelings on that on What a Wonderful World, but as far as a rock and roll song goes,
Okay.
there's not many better than
Now, hold on.
that song.
We're talking about the greatest songs of all time, not the greatest rock and roll song.
Right.
Right.
There's a difference.
Could be country song.
There is a difference.
Could be.
But if you-
I can't imagine.
Lacey J. Dalton.
Can't imagine. No.
So
Learned my
for
lesson
me,
there. Jeez, pick that up.
if you're going to say, okay, I'm going to put 2 songs on, what 2 songs in order I'm going to put them on? I'm going to put Rock and Roll All Night first, and then What a Wonderful World I'd play second.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So that
So
would be
there's another speed round.
Chris,
Speed
you have
round.
your
Chris
speed
got a
round.
round.
okay. So name a band that just follows the trends. They'll put an album out, whatever the
Kiss. They started the trend.
This is it, yes.
They started the trend.
Exactly. Whatever's popular at that particular point in time,
Kiss.
they're gonna make an album that reflects it.
Yes.
They even tried to record a grunge album in the early '90s.
Kiss. Gotta be
Kiss.
Kiss.
It's 100%
No
Kiss.
other answer.
Gotta be
There's
Kiss.
no.
Disco song.
It's like they followed disco.
Yeah. Kiss.
They did the music. They did a musical soundtrack thing. You know,
They
they
had
just
movies,
like,
they
and
did
then rock and roll's back in favor again. Oh, let's do hair metal band stuff. You know.
We just
Okay.
This is weird.
Yeah, it's Kiss.
Denman. What
But
do you
it-
think,
yeah.
Denman?
Biggest offender.
The biggest offender, gosh, Taylor Swift.
Oh,
She's horrible.
I mean, there's
Well,
a difference between horrible.
I don't know much about
I think
her other than she's a blonde
I think
girl
the
that plays.
the thing with
country
her
music.
is that like I don't think she necessarily followed a trend as much as she got like watered down by what a studio thought would be popular. Because like you listen to some of her early stuff is very like country oriented,
Yes.
and like
Mhm.
all of her later stuff is just kind of like the way I like to say like garbage pop, and I think that's probably less of a reflection of her than it's a reflection of the studio that's trying to force her to do.
I think it has. I think the reflection is that whenever she was like the teenagers, when she was doing 14, 15, 16, 17 on her first few albums, she hadn't been spurred by some dudes
Yeah.
yet. So once she started dating and finding out,
Stop and get your heart broke.
John Mayer wasn't really interested in her, how great of a vocal she was, and So I think she got pissed at men at some point, and she just, I'm gonna date a guy, figure out what I hate about him, and write a song about it.
Yeah.
Sounds fair. All right.
All right. So nominations for next week. Chris, what would your answer be to this speed round before we get there?
Yes.
Yes.
Kiss. That was the band I was thinking about whenever whenever I heard rock and roll, whenever that song was nominated, and I said, well, I'm going to listen to other Kiss stuff. So I threw out it on a playlist. It says make a playlist for me, right? Songs that started coming up. Beth. Not really Kiss. It was just something that was popular during the 70s. That kind of a song, the whole orchestrated thing, the music from the Elder, that was I can't think of the name of the song, but there's a song from the Elder that popped up. Freaking Dynasty, the whole disco song thing they did, and then whenever it went back to, okay, I enjoyed Lick It Up album, the one or two songs on them, but I think Kiss is, whenever they start to think about recording an album, they write two songs that they really think might do well, and we'll just throw anything else in there because nobody listens to it anyways. If we have one or two hits on there, who cares what the rest of the fucking album sounds like? I mean, that was just what was that Tears Are Falling album. I'm like, oh my god, that was a blatant ripoff of freaking that whole that song. That video that's in my dreams. From Dawkins. Plain and simple. And then, I don't know. It's like, I'm surprised they didn't do Turbo Lover style song.
Now there's a great. I'm surprised that song hasn't come up yet. Maybe tonight.
Maybe tonight.
So nominations for next week, Chris. We will let you have the floor.
So
who's last, Beth?
I feel the clause of defeat, where I'm basically, I think Richie, you and I are You and I are going to be
There
the
a lot.
probably the only two in this bottom end here for the thing, and I take honor on that. Fight for a song you like. So I'm going to hop onto the other side of the batter's box. I was on the right side of the batter's box this time. Since I struck out, I'm going to try the left side of the batter's box this time.
80s metal.
So, this song started the 1980s off in the right way.
Jesse's Girl.
Not Jesse's.
Sorry, it just blurted out. I
No, that's a decent song. It's not a bad song, not at all.
I know the song
Say,
but I'm not saying
but this is coming from a band who had just felt the sting of the loss of an important member of the band, one of the probably the greatest vocalists of all time for a rock band. To replace him was no easy feat, none whatsoever. Okay, to replace him with someone else that
in through your nose,
stepped it up,
in through your nose,
stepped it up.
Yep,
took it to another level, right? When you start this album, there is no question what you're listening to. The bell rings.
Yep.
That song is iconic. I don't think you would be hard pressed to find a song that opens an album, okay, as good as Hell's Bells by AC/DC. I really, really, really think that song, okay, is an epitome of 80s rock and roll. And I don't expect most, if you weren't there, okay, if you weren't there,
Nate.
you won't get it.
So
you won't understand. You won't understand. Trust me.
But maybe
I remember. I remember. You remember Mike General?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So his sister, Tracy, dated Eric. She brought that album home and put it on the record player. And it was this big haunted house that we were living in, essentially. Again, because it was a crazy haunted house in Greensburg. The lights would flicker, turn on and off on their own. Anyways, turned off the stereo, and you remember the stereos back in those days. Yep. Big, huge fucking speakers.
Yeah.
Just power amp. Just like that dong came in, and then the sound of the guitar. It just builds into this power song that you just, I don't know. There's not much better.
Cool. All right, cool.
So that's it.
It's not even the best song with bells in the title.
Okay, settle down.
Next week. That's next week.
That's next week.
You're wrong. All right, who are you sending it to?
So that's a singular album. If you go after that and you start going down, it just gets yeah. And then you end up with the AC/DC Renegade song, Thunderstruck.
Yes.
That plays at every
You're right. That was the pinnacle. Black and Black, like we
Black and Black, yes.
That was like, wow, that hit at the right time, the right place.
Yes,
and then,
exactly.
And
you'd be hard pressed to find a bad song on that album too. Have a Drink on Me, Giving the Dog a Bone, all those.
Yeah.
They're just, they're just great rock tunes. You know what I mean? It was just a great rock album from beginning to end.
They set the standard for rock and roll.
1980, July 25th.
And they're still 1980. Around. The fuckers are still around, ain't they?
Yes, they are. Unfortunately. Yep. Not many bands can say that.
That's right.
Don't worry, kid.
Okay, who's next?
Can we bounce it to somebody else and hopefully my sorrow goes away?
Sorrow's not going to go away.
No.
You're going to have to listen to it all this week.
I got to listen to AC/DC for the next week.
So
Boingo, boingo.
I'm going to go to my fellow bottom dweller.
There we go. All right. Here we go. I'm excited.
Here we go.
Holy shit.
This is a band
Hold me back.
you guys probably don't know.
Jesse's Girl.
No, not Jessica.
Oh, Box 1 has been ticked
Box
for
one
a
has
Rich
been ticked.
nomination.
Nate knows this band.
Box 2 has been ticked.
We've seen them live.
Box 3 has been ticked.
Well, I probably just might as well say it. They're a really great live band, and if you can find like a live version of it on YouTube or something, it's just as good. But it's got some great lines in it too. So look up the lyrics, because like I want to be original, I want to be surrounded by art.
Oh, hell yeah.
The song is Knife Man, and the band is the Bronx.
Okay.
This isn't music, Jack. It's a pyramid scheme.
That's a fantastic song. It's like the Bronx is a band border in between punk and metal, and they have just this punch to them. They're fantastic, and that song is like it's the epitome of them. That's an excellent nomination.
And as you're listening to the Bronx, they also do mariachi stuff as a band called Mariachi El Bronx, so you can listen to that as well.
That would be next week.
Fall down that round.
Fall down that round.
Next week's nomination.
All right.
Denman. Since we're going back and forth.
All right. I was eating a Triscuit. But I'm going back to 1987 again. Well, I mean, but back in time here. And we're going to go with a song called Still of the Night by Whitesnake.
Oh!
Good one.
Yeah. And the band that he made.
Another underrated guitar player, John Sykes.
John Sykes is very underrated, and I wanted to bring that up because the band that he did the video with and went on tour with was not the band that recorded that album. Because at the time, he made so many lineup changes throughout the 80s, and for that tour, he got Vivian Campbell, Adrian Vandenberg, and Tommy Aldrich, right, on drums, I think.
Bruce Sarzo on bass.
Sarzo on bass. And he put that band together because, I mean, I saw a show on this, and he was like, he wanted to win. Like, he wanted to be at the top of the charts. He had to have people that could play and people that could look the part, too.
Yep.
So he was totally like, that's all his focus was.
Take over in the late 80s.
Yeah, and then, of course, Tawny Katane.
Tawny Katane on the Jaguar. He kind of did. He did. He accomplished it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Nate, we gotta introduce you to Tawny Katane, buddy.
Yeah. All right.
She's a corpse right now.
Yeah, she's dead.
She's dead now.
Yeah.
But
She's not
back then,
Watch the video, you'll see.
I like Whitesnake, but my biggest thing that I hate about Whitesnake is that they take songs from their older albums and re-record them to make them hits.
Yeah, Here I Go Again.
Here I Go Again is a perfect example. That was it flopped in the first time, so let's re-record it and try again. You know what I mean? And then he says I think it was like the song says I'm like a drifter. I was born to walk alone.
He says like
the original song. It says I'm a hobo.
Yeah, I know. And it's the same solo, but a little weaker. Yeah, yeah.
And this wasn't the first time they did. I mean, whenever he brought Steve Vai in, they did the same thing all over again.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's my biggest complaint with Whitesnake.
It worked. It's sold. I got it smart.
People like drifters better than they do hobos.
That's right.
Yeah.
Better word.
Well, I think hobo was a big word when he first wrote it.
Yeah, it was probably 1970 something he wrote it.
Yeah.
Hobo was the thing.
Yeah.
We don't have hobos anymore.
Nah, the freaking
Where'd all the
hobos.
hobos go?
Where's the freaking hobos at?
Well, that was whenever Boxcar Willie stopped making music.
No,
all
there's
the hobos
their songs are going to be coming up, man. Boxcar Willie. We better throw. Are we out of time yet? Almost. It's 9. Go ahead.
All right. We got to hear what.
I've got 15 minutes, so I'm good.
Okay, we got 15
minutes. We got to hear what Rod has to say real quick.
I thought I was last because I won.
Oh, you want to be last?
All right. Okay. So since Red Robin ain't here to win tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick a song that I'm going to say 2 of you don't know. 2 of you do know.
Those two and those two.
Pretty easy to divide the group up.
And it's a fun song. It's a great American song. It's got the 4th of July coming up.
Yes. Well, by the
About
time this airs, it'll
Lee
be
Greenwood.
Christmas.
Proud to be American.
That's true. It's close. It's not really
Okay.
quite that, but it's not really an American song. But I got this vibe, and I thought this was a good week to throw it out. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to my nomination, "Victory or Death" by Anti-Flag.
Wow.
I know that.
To the 2 guys that know the song will be shocked that I nominated that song, probably.
I think we're all shocked you nominated that. You're writing that down?
I know that. I know that song.
I was like, oh, he's nominating this one.
I thought it was the Descendants.
I figured you would, and I was like, you know what? I was listening to that, and I was like, I think this is the week I want.
When I saw Anti-Flag in
That's a
Cleveland,
great song.
they played that song.
But
Hold on, Chris is saying something.
What?
When I saw Anti-Flag in Cleveland, that they played that song.
That's a great song.
House of Blues. They were.
Great band.
I knew the name, but I didn't really know a lot of the songs. When they were fun live.
yeah,
They're great.
they're
live
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
$15.
unless they're acoustic on
Well
stools.
If they're acoustic on stools, man, I know it's hard to get real.
I didn't
pumped.
see
You gotta
that
sit
show.
the fuck down, but whatever. Yeah, you badasses.
I didn't see that show.
They do have a little bit of inspiration from the Beatles. I don't know if you know this, but the bassist, his favorite song is "A Day in the Life," or at
That's
least
true, A Day in the Life.
it was sometime back in April.
That's true.
It was.
So now it comes to me.
Now we go to Nate.
So in a week full of Whitesnake and Hell's Bells, I'm gonna go in the direction of these two, and I'm gonna nominate a song that I don't think anybody else here knows. I know I forced you to listen to it before, but I don't think you know it that well. This is by a band. You just absolutely go check them out. They're phenomenal. But I don't think they have the ability to write anything happy. Like, they could write a song about unicorns and rainbows, and it would still sound morbidly depressing. But they are powerful, they are excellent, and they border this line between pop and punk. That's not really pop punk, though. But they're a band called The Wonder Years. This song is, I believe it's the most recent song we've ever had nominated on this show. I checked just a second ago. It was released on May 16th of this year.
Wow.
And the song is called...
It's fresh. This is fresh.
All fresh.
Fresh meat, everybody.
Yeah.
So we have a sound effect for that?
I don't
Nah,
think
probably
we did.
not.
Fresh meat?
We need
No,
a
we got to make a fresh
Fresh
meat one.
Fresh meat.
fresh meat. Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's like a shush.
And then, but the song is called all capitals, no spaces, M instead of 2 N's. It's called God Damn It All. It is just...
That works.
It has, to me, one of the most powerful breakdowns I've ever heard. And it...
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. It is immaculate, just in every sense of the word.
So this sounds like a much more hard rock nomination.
Yeah,
set.
this is a lot of.
This
yeah.
sounds like tough.
Anti-Flag may be the softest, mellowest song out
Might
of
be,
this.
yeah.
It's hard to wouldn't imagine that.
No, I don't think it gets softer than the Wonder Years.
Well, I don't know that song. Yeah, so that song I
Okay.
don't know, but
So the nominations for this upcoming week are Hell's Bells by AC/DC, as nominated by Chris. Knife Man by The Bronx, as nominated by Rich. Still of the Night by Whitesnake, as nominated by Denman. Victory or Death by Anti-Flag, as nominated by Rod. And God Damn It All by The Wonder Years, as nominated by me. Now, this week, we had some song. It was Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss. Won the week somehow. Went on to...
Hey, no commentary in the wrap up.
I get commentary.
Who's like,
I'm the one who does the wrap-up. I can say what I want.
the commentary may not represent all the members of the panel.
The commentary does not reflect the show's political or
viewpoint.
we hold no legal liability for the things said in the wrap-up. I do. But so Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss won the week somehow, and then faced an objectively way too close loss to What a Wonderful World by Louis
I'll
Armstrong.
get behind that one.
Yeah.
That was a little too close.
Falling at the hands of our champion,
3-2
3-2.
again.
I believe this is the third straight week that Louis Armstrong has been in a 3-2 victory, but it is the fourth straight week of successful title defenses for the champion. The champion still remains Louis Armstrong, and Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World remains as the greatest song of all time.
for one more week.
Thank you.